Today is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2020. And yesterday we started a new book. It was a Mercy Watson book called Mercy Watson Fights Crime. And Mercy Watson was sleeping. And if you remember, she woke up hearing a sound. And she knew exactly what that sound was because she loves toast. So she heard this sound and she knew that was the sound of the toaster being dragged across the counter. So she instantly thought that maybe Mr. Watson or Mrs. Watson was making some toast and decided to go downstairs. But she found Leroy Ninker. And Leroy Ninker was robbing their house. He was taking things from them. And Mercy Watson realized it wasn't toast and then ended up just falling asleep in the kitchen. So when Leroy took the things that he was going to take and was getting ready to go, he couldn't get out. Mercy was kind of blocking the way. And he said, I can't go around the pig. I can't go under the pig. I have to go on top of the pig. And when he went on top of Mercy, Mercy actually woke up and jumped up. And where we left off was she was running over to the Lincoln sisters' house. So here we are at chapter 9, and here we go. Inside the Lincoln sisters' house, baby Lincoln woke up. She went into her sister Eugenia's room. Sister, wake up, baby said. There was someone outside shouting, Yippee-yi-yo! Did you have pie again before bed? Asked Eugenia. I did not, said baby. I think you did, said Eugenia. I did not, said baby. Go back to your room immediately, said Eugenia. Yes, sister, said baby. Baby went back to her room. She got into her bed. She heard another yippee-yi-yo. Oh dear, said baby. I wish I had not eaten that pie. Chapter 10. Yippee-yi-yo! Baby, shouted Eugenia. Come back here immediately. Baby got out of bed. She went into Eugenia's room. Yes, sister, said baby. Did you hear that noise? Said Eugenia. Was it a yippee-yi-yo, sister? It was, said Eugenia. You are dreaming, said baby. Nonsense, said Eugenia. Open the curtain. Baby opened the curtain. Together, the Lincoln sisters watched Mercy gallop across the lawn. They watched the little man on her back take his cowboy hat off and wave it over his head. Yippee-yi-yo! The little man shouted. That pig is disturbing the peace, said Eugenia. And so is the cowboy riding her. I'm calling the police. Oh, sister, are you sure it's not a dream? Said baby. It's a nightmare, said Eugenia. That's what it is. Chapter 11. Next door, Mrs. Watson discovered that Mercy was not in her bed. Mr. Watson, she shouted, come at once. Mr. Watson came at once. Mercy is not here, said Mrs. Watson. Are you certain? Asked Mr. Watson. Have you looked under the bed? Mrs. Watson bent over. She looked under the bed. She is not there, said Mrs. Watson. Mr. and Mrs. Watson stood together in Mercy's room. What should we do? asked Mrs. Watson. Yippee-yi-yo! It's that noise again, said Mrs. Watson. Mr. Watson went to the window. He opened the curtain. He looked outside. Mrs. Watson, said Mr. Watson, we must call the fire department immediately. It's an emergency. Chapter 12. In reality, Leroy Ninker was a small thief on the back of a big pig. But in Leroy's mind, he was a cowboy riding a bucking bronco in the Wild West. Being a cowboy is hard work, said Leroy Ninker. I need some refreshment. Leroy reached into his shirt pocket. He grabbed hold of a butter barrel candy. He unwrapped it with one hand. He put it in his mouth. Ah, said Leroy Ninker, this is the life. Just then, the pig kicked up her heels. The pig bucked. The pig reared. Leroy Ninker lost his grip. Yippee! Said Leroy. He flew through the air. Said Leroy. He landed on his back. Oh, said Leroy Ninker. Chapter 13. Mercy sniffed. There was that delightful smell again. Butter. Where was it coming from? She looked around. She saw the little man lying on the ground. She sniffed his face. Hee hee, the little man said. That tickles. Mercy snuffled the man's shirt. He said again. In order to snuffle the man better, Mercy sat on top of him. Get off me, said the man. Mercy put her snout in the man's shirt pocket. She snuffled some more. Oh, said the little man. Help! Mercy found a piece of candy. She bit into it. It was sweet. It was lovely. It was very, very buttery. Mercy sat on top of the little man and chewed. A siren wailed. Aw, shucks, said the man. Chapter 14. The fire department arrived first. We have been to this house before, said the fireman named Ned. You are right, said the fireman named Lorenzo. This is the house with that pig. And the toast, said Ned. We ate toast at this house. I see the pig, said Lorenzo. He pointed at Mercy. The pig is sitting on somebody. Good grief, said Ned. Ned and Lorenzo got out of the fire truck. They saw Mr. and Mrs. Watson running out of the front door of their house. They saw Eugenia Lincoln and Baby Lincoln running out of the front door of their house. This is an interesting job, isn't it? Said Ned. Very interesting, said Lorenzo. Alrighty, gonna stop us there. Today's Wednesday, which means we have our individual chats. If anyone has signed up, I'll see you then. And everyone else, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you later. Bye!